Hi, I'm Daniel Gold, and welcome to the subscriber-only version of the Leadership Lab, the audio experience where I bring my Substack post to life. By day, I'm a partner at BDO USA, but this podcast is my personal passion project, completely separate and apart from my day job, but reflect the same passion that I exhibit everywhere for teaching, mentoring, and helping others succeed through simple, impactful lessons. It is my hope you'll walk away with practical takeaways to help you on your leadership journey. Thanks for being a part of this community and joining me in the Leadership Lab. Let's get started. From ripples to waves, the leadership behaviors that change everything. What if I told you that the secret to achieving the highest client satisfaction and surpassing revenue goals isn't about setting new pricing strategies, filling marketing with corporate jargon, or demanding more reports from staff to middle management? It's not even close. The secret lies in the ripple effect, how small ripples in the corporate pool can create a massive wave fueled by a team that wants to do amazing work. The ripple effect emerges from leaders who demonstrate vulnerability to their teams, actively promote continuous upskilling, and create an environment where team members can share opinions without fear of repercussions. The first ripple, how vulnerability creates waves. Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Brené Brown from Rising Strong. This powerful insight from Brené Brown, a renowned researcher and author, perfectly captures why vulnerability matters in leadership. When leaders show up authentically, admitting their uncertainties and sharing their challenges, it creates a profound shift in organizational dynamics. When was the last time you admitted to your team that you didn't have all the answers, or saw a senior executive do the same? Did it make you or that executive appear weaker as a leader? Not at all. In fact, it likely increased the level of respect. This is because vulnerability in leadership isn't about weakness. It's about showing humanity, which by all indications is a massive strength. Research in organizational psychology reveals that leaders who demonstrate genuine openness, admitting that they don't have all the answers, help create psychological safety within teams, which we'll explore in the third ripple. This environment of trust inspires team members to engage more deeply and share their thoughts more freely. From this shift in team dynamics, the first ripple emerges. The transformation takes root when leaders consistently show vulnerability while fostering a culture that celebrates open dialogue and continuous learning. The second ripple, when learning feels good. The growth mindset is based on the belief that your basic qualities are things you can cultivate through your efforts. Everyone can change and grow through application and experience. Carol Dweck from her book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. The first ripple's impact creates space for culture powered by continuous learning, naturally motivating team members to upskill and fill knowledge gaps. In many organizations, exposing a knowledge gap may be seen as a weakness or deficiency. However, when leaders demonstrate that it is safe to be vulnerable and frame knowledge gaps as opportunities, team members become genuinely excited about learning and growth. This isn't just empty rhetoric. It's firmly grounded in neuroscience. When leaders let their teams know that knowledge gaps are opportunities and therefore gets them excited to continuously learn new things, there are four fascinating things that are happening in the brain. First, it reduces cortisol, the brain's stress hormone. With lower stress levels, the brain's learning centers function more effectively. Second, this reduced cortisol allows for the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for complex thinking, problem solving, and learning, to become fully engaged. Third, this combination of lower cortisol and an activated prefrontal cortex promotes neuroplasticity. That enables the brain to form new connections and pathways for learning. Finally, when team members view upskilling as an opportunity, their brains release dopamine, activating the reward system and enhancing memory formation. In essence, what the science teaches us is that a good leader literally rewires the team members' brains. And here's the more fascinating part. When team members view skill acquisition as an opportunity, they naturally extend these positive learning experiences for your clients, transforming every interaction into an opportunity for mutual growth and discovery. Now, that's just not amazing. That's the second ripple. The third ripple, safety that spreads. When people have psychological safety at work, they feel comfortable sharing concerns and mistakes without fear of embarrassment or retribution. Finding out that you are wrong is even more valuable than being right because you are learning. Amy Edmondson from the book, The Fearless Organization. When leaders create space for vulnerability and reframe knowledge gaps as opportunities, team members feel empowered to view failures not as personal shortcomings, but as chances for growth. In our discussion in episode 11, called Beyond the Sandwich, Leading with Radical Candor, we explored how psychological safety enables teams to embrace honest feedback and open dialogue. When team members feel secure enough to share their perspectives and hear difficult truths, the entire organization benefits. Problems get solved faster, innovation flourishes, and trust deepens. By treating our teams as the capable professionals that they are, they consistently rise to meet challenges. The psychological safety creates an environment where team members feel empowered to experiment and explore new approaches. Such empowerment naturally leads to genuine, intrinsic motivation. Team members become eager to innovate and find better ways to serve their clients. Again, the ripple effect continues well beyond the organization, extending to client interactions. Each engagement becomes an opportunity for mutual growth, where both team members and clients feel empowered to share knowledge and explore solutions together. When ripples become waves, from internal growth to client transformation. Your customers are only satisfied because their expectations are so low and because no one else is doing better. Just having satisfied customers isn't good enough anymore. If you really want a booming business, you have to create raving fans. Ken Blanchard and Sheldon Balls in the book Raving Fans. Before starting my role at a new company over a decade ago, I had to read 2 books before day 1, Raving Fans and The Gold by Eli Goldratt. Any reservations I had about this new company vanished with this requirement. Raving Fans has become my guiding mantra. Regardless of the company I am at, I consistently ensure my team understands the core principle. Giving that extra 1% beyond everyone else is the key to creating a raving fans culture. However, this approach requires organizational buy-in. When leaders focus solely on metrics rather than understanding their purpose, it becomes harder for those responsible for revenue generation to succeed. In contrast, when leaders foster an environment of possibilities, they instill confidence and competence throughout their teams. This confidence leads to value creation, and the result? A true raving fan. A client who becomes both a lifelong partner and an invaluable source of referrals. And that is when the ripples, when combined together, creates waves. How to get started making waves. When leaders foster a transformative culture with psychologically safe spaces for continuous learning, they achieve more than improved metrics. They create an environment where people genuinely care about excellence, not out of obligation, but rather from intrinsic motivation. These employees transcend basic client service to become teachers, guides, and catalysts for change. They evolve into trusted advisors whom clients seek out not only for services, but for strategic insights. And as a result, clients become such enthusiastic advocates for your organization that they can't help but spread the word. The real question isn't about your team's potential to create this ripple effect. Rather, it's whether you, as their leader, are cultivating the conditions that allow their natural drive for growth and service to thrive. When you succeed at this, something remarkable unfolds. Your investment in your people's development transforms into their dedication to client success. This is how good organizations evolve into great ones. One ripple, one conversation, one learning moment, one empowered employee at a time. Remember, leadership isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Take this lesson, put it into action, and continue setting the gold standard in your own life and at work. See you next time.